Hello and welcome back to AB Tutor Tips. If all your students are sat at computers in your lessons, it would be very convenient to have them use those computers for any exams or tests you wanted them to do. AB Tutor can make this much easier for you to administer, allowing you to hand out and collect papers and restrict access to other software very easily. For this example, let's say we have an exam in a Word document. This would typically have the questions in it with spaces for the students to answer them, so the whole thing is in a single document. Once your students have logged into their computers, you can use AB Tutor's Send File function to push the exam papers out onto the students' desktops. To do this, select the group or individual computers you are working with and click on Send Files in the Action panel. Find the exam document in the top part of the dialog box and drag it into the bottom panel to select it, then right-click on it in the bottom panel and set the destination folder. For this example, I will set the destination to %desktop%, which is a special variable that means the desktop of the currently logged on user. This is a good location because the user will always have write access to this location. Select OK and Send to push the file out to all your students and then close the dialog boxes once the transfers are finished. Next, we want to open the document on their computers. Select the Launch action from the Actions panel and enter %desktop%/filename to specify the file you just sent to the client. This will automatically load the document in the default application for that type of file when you click Run. The students can now be left to get on with the exam. If you want to allow them to request help through AB Tutor, you can use the traffic lights policy, as shown in the linked video. At the end of the allotted time, you will want to retrieve the completed exam papers. First, we recommend using the Key Sequences function to send a Ctrl+S, which will make the client computer save the work in its current state. To do this, click the arrow next to Key Sequences and select Manager. Tick Capture Keys as you type, then press Ctrl+S on your own computer to enter that into the key sequence. If you make a mistake and need to delete some of what you've entered, make sure you untick Capture Keys as you type, or special keys such as delete and backspace will be entered in as keystrokes for the key sequence. Click Save and then OK, and finally select the computers you want to run this on, and select Ctrl+S from the key sequence drop-down. Note that in the future you won't need to create the key sequence, as it will already be saved in the list from the last time. Now that the work is saved, you can collect it. With the relevant client computer selected, click on Collect Files in the Actions panel. Enter the name of your exam document in the top field and %desktop% in the Remote Folder field. You can also specify where you want the files to be saved on your own computer in the Save to Folder field. If you want to tidy up the file from your students' desktops, you can also select Delete Remote Files after collection, but note that this isn't 100% secure. The student could have made another copy of the file. Next, click on Get File Listing at the bottom of the dialog box. This will show you all the files that match the search you have created. Check that all the files from all the users you expect to see are in the list, then select Collect Files to copy them to your computer. The files on your computer will have been automatically named to show the original file name, the computer it was collected from, and the user who was logged in. The date and timestamps are also set to when the file was collected. This makes it easy to tell which work came from which student, so you know who deserves what marks even if they haven't put their name on the exam themselves. This covers the basics of using AB Tutor to run an exam. However, I mentioned that you can also restrict access to other software. To do this, we will need to create a policy by right-clicking on Private Policies and selecting New Policy. We don't need to do anything with the conditions here. This policy can be applied and removed manually, so just select Block Applications from the Effects panel and then go to the Block Applications tab. Here, we want to set the policy to block all applications by selecting that radio button and then add Word to the exceptions list. On the Finish tab, give the policy an appropriate name and choose a colour and icon if you wish. Select Finish to save the policy. Now, before starting the exam, you could apply this policy to the students' computers by selecting them all and dragging and dropping it onto them. And as you can see, if the student tries to open any unauthorised programs, they will automatically be closed. Once the exam has finished, you can remove this policy by selecting all the computers, right-clicking on the policy, and selecting Remove Policy from Selection to return the computers to normal. I hope this tip has been useful and explains everything you need to know about sending files and running exams with AB Tutor. However, if you have any questions, please email us at support@abtutor.com and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching.